Alexander was born in 356 BCE in Pella, the capital of Macedonia. His father, Philip II, had transformed the kingdom into a powerful military state and dreamed of conquering Persia. Alexander showed fearless courage from a young age. At 12, he tamed the wild stallion Bucephalus, impressing everyone around him. From 13 to 16, he was tutored by Aristotle, studying science, medicine, and philosophy. These early years of education and adventure set him on the path to greatness. Alexander often styled himself as a hero of legend. His mother Olympias claimed he descended from Achilles, and some stories even hinted Zeus was his real father. Alexander liked to identify with the demigod Heracles, and ancient art often shows him wearing Heracles' lion skin cloak. In 336 BCE, tragedy struck. Philip II was assassinated, and the 20-year-old Alexander immediately seized the throne. He crushed rival claimants and quelled rebellions across Greece, securing his rule. With Greece pacified, Alexander followed his father's ambitions. In 334 BCE, he crossed the Hellespont into Asia Minor. At the Granicus River, he won a decisive victory over the Persians, opening the door to Asia for the Macedonian army. In 333 BCE, Alexander faced Persia's King Darius III at the Battle of Issus. Outnumbered, Alexander's army still triumphed. Darius fled, abandoning his wife and mother, and even Darius's mother came to regard Alexander as her son. Next, Alexander swept down the Phoenician coast, capturing cities like Byblos and Sidon. In 332 BCE, he laid siege to the island city of Tyre, famously building a causeway across the sea to reach it. After months of struggle, Tyre's walls finally fell, and the conquest was brutal. Thousands of its inhabitants were killed or sold into slavery. In 332 BCE, Alexander marched into Egypt. He was hailed as a liberator and founded the city of Alexandria on the Mediterranean coast, which would become a great center of Greek culture. In late 331 BCE, he then met Darius again at the Battle of Gaugamela. Alexander won decisively, and Darius fled. When Macedonians later found the Persian king's body, Alexander gave him a royal burial. Alexander proclaimed himself king of Asia and pursued the rebel satrap Bessus, whom he captured and executed, thereby securing control over all Persia. By this point, Alexander had forged the largest empire the ancient world had ever seen, stretching from Greece in the west to the Indus River in the east. The map highlights the full extent of his conquests. Alexander did not stop at Persia. In 327 BCE, he crossed into the Indian subcontinent. In 326 BCE, at the Hydaspes River, he met King Porus of Parava. Porus's army employed war elephants, but after fierce fighting, Alexander prevailed. Legend says Alexander's beloved horse Bucephalus was wounded or died in the battle, and Alexander founded a city, Bucephala, in the horse's honor. When they reached the Hephaestus, Bees River on the Ganges, Alexander's troops were exhausted, and they refused to march any farther. Reluctantly, he led them down the Indus River, and eventually through the harsh Gedrosian desert on the return journey. In 323 BCE, Alexander returned to Babylon, still dreaming of more conquests. But soon after arriving, he fell ill. After a prolonged fever, he died at the age of 32. Historians debate the cause. Malaria or poisoning have been suggested, but in any case, he named no clear heir. His sudden death plunged the empire into chaos as his generals carved it up. Even so, Alexander's legacy endured. Greek language and culture spread throughout his former empire, ushering in the Hellenistic age. The cities he founded, like Alexandria, remained centers of learning and trade for centuries. Alexander's blend of ambition and vision made him one of history's most legendary figures.